Hello everybody and welcome to our very impromptu one-shot for Britannia by Gaslight. This is going to be a very interesting little shot with both our brilliant pro restarter and Laugh Love Lindy here to do some fun stuff with Alucard and Lilith and see where this will go. So I'm curious to see how they're going to handle what I've got in store for them today. So we're going to go around, we'll introduce you, let us know who you're playing, and, let us know a little bit about you for those who are tuning in for the first time here for this campaign. So, we'll start off with the person to my left. Good old Alucard, pro restarter.
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, super hyped to be here. I play Alucard, Dampier. Just awesome forensic scientist, detective. Never roll below 21. So glad to be here.
Good old Sherlock over here, which will become apparent if you watch the series. He passes every investigation check. Let's see if today breaks that. So we'll move over to Laugh Love Lindy. Welcome back.
Hello. I'm happy to be here. Static. I love this game so much. I will be playing Lilith, definitely a con artist, drug dealer on the side. Just all around lovely lady.
Yeah, that's a good way of describing her, I think. It works. That works completely fine. Cool. So I'm Hollowtail, I'm your narrator for today, and I'm looking forward to getting into this with you all. So without any more build-up, let's just get straight into this. So it is currently London, 1925, and this is after a apocalypse hit many years ago, back in the Victorian era, and it has kind of extended that entire feel as this setting is a post-apocalyptic neo-Victorian setting. So, we find ourselves in the dark and dingy streets of London's East End, somewhere where criminals and the many different shady individuals of London go to meet. Now, they're all on the lower city. There are two tiers to this city at the moment. There is the upper city, this beautiful recreation of the city below that forever looms above the lower city for those that are below, always cast in shadow and darkness. And it's in the shades, in a very dingy bar, that we find our two characters for today. Alucard and Lilith, you find yourself both sat at a table, one that you've both come quite familiar with, meeting a gentleman by the name of Robbie Carr, a quite broad-shouldered and tall northern man from Sheffield who is sat across a table from you and is just drinking a pint that has quite a big head on it at the moment compared to most other people's in the bar. He looks over towards yourself, Alucard and Lilith, and simply states, "Well, it looks like we've got you a job anyway, so we're going to make sure that you're all well paid. Lilith, this is Alucard. You met him before. We've had a couple pints before, but
Yes.
This is the first time officially meeting him, so work with him."
All right.
Pleasure.
Pleasure's all mine.
Of course it is. So, what is this meeting talking about? Of course, something that is going to be substantial in helping the business we've been talking about, all three of us.
Well, I mean, other than the other business we've been talking about, but the actual business we've been speaking about, this is quite big to do with that, actually. I heard you're mixed up with some folks that I've heard about that I'm not meant to know about. He says and kind of gives you a wink, Alucard. He seems to be referencing the Nocturne.
Okay. Can't really speak much about that. And I don't have my glasses because it's so hard to have all the gear on. But I kind of like tip my glasses down. Kind of give them a wink.
Well, see, I think there's something mixed up with a couple people there who have been making sure that things go unseen and unheard, if you know what I'm saying. Do you remember hearing about the anarchists a few years back? The American lot that came in and started causing some trouble. Blowing up things, speaking about freedom, all that kind of rubbish. Well, that lot. Yeah. They struck somebody that they shouldn't strike. And from what I heard, they've all gone missing. Now, I don't really give a flying fuck about them going missing. What I do care about is something else. There's apparently a lady who's moved into town. One that seems to be very prolific, very rich. So she's Irish, I think. Which is strange to see. Not many folks from up there really, have been here recently. But from what I've heard, she's been taking in a few people. A couple of lads from down here, a couple of the street rats, the kids and the light pickpockets. They've been going missing. I've heard that she's been hiring them, taking them in, giving them a job. Thing is, they're not coming back out. So I'm wondering what's going on there. And from what I've heard...
It's a bit curious.
Yeah, it is. And from what I've heard, apparently, it's not just me who's curious. Your folks are curious. He says he's nodding at you, Alucard.
I've been hearing some rumors, some strange goings on, some bad juju.
I like that, juju. Yeah, it's really good. That's a good saying, that is. What does it mean?
Just some bad hocus pocus.
Right, yeah, I get hocus pocus. I remember that one. Yeah. He says as he kind of sits back and takes a big gulp of his pint again and just pops it down and leans back and goes, right, so I'll get to the point here. I think you two need to get to know each other a bit better. I think you teaming up, going a strike at them's good. I'll be along my way with you. I want to see these people go down the way they should. So, where I see it is we go to where she is, we strike, we figure out what the fuck's going on in that place, and then we get out. If it's all above board, well, we don't do anything about it. If it ain't.
I mean, I'm okay going, but Lilia, is there something that you're accustomed to? I don't really know much about your repertoire apart from what you sell.
Well, you could say I'm quite good at being very quiet, hiding, and talking to people.
Yeah, it's kind of a speciality is talking to people. I tell you, at one time, she was there, right? I was like, you need to get 50 quid out of this guy's pocket.
You didn't say 50 quid. You just said...
Oh, that's semantics. That's semantics. Point is, right, she came back and she was like, oh, I've got this suitcase, and came in, and I was all like, oh, what the fuck you got a suitcase for? I told you to get his change out his pocket. And she comes back with 900 fucking quid.
He said take everything he had. I didn't assume honest person.
Yeah, well, so the point is, she's very good at talking.
It's very skilled hands, too, it seems.
Oh, yeah. But anyway. So, point is here. I think you need to go and get it sorted. So, I've heard she's going by... Oh, let me have a bloody look, he says, and he kind of looks through a file. He's kind of leafing through it, and he goes, that's it, very weird name. She's going by the name of Angela Graves. Like the ones in the ground sort of thing. Bit
Angela
weird,
Graves.
if you do say so. Angela Graves, yeah.
It's very peculiar. Well, for the past few days I've been feeling pretty tip-top, pretty almost indestructible. Like if something would happen to me, it would record the time continuum. So I'm feeling pretty
I don't know why he's saying that. I mean, I get what you mean, though. I feel the same. I think it's just the ready break I had for breakfast or something. But yeah, it might have been the cereals.
Could be the weather. I feel quite healthy.
Yeah, it's raining outside as it always is. But I mean, that's pretty good. So it must be that. It's nothing else, surely. It can't be. About the time. I don't even know what a time continuum is. I mean,
It sounds fancy.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Here's a pocket watch.
Yeah, I mean, I've got one of them. He says, gets out his pocket watch and puts it away. But anyway. So yeah, point is, I think we should deal with this. This Miss Graves, this Lady Graves, as she calls herself, bloody grim name. Anyway, she's been taking a few people from the rookeries. Some areas near there, there's a couple of factories that were shut down in that location. A couple of the urchins, they usually camp out there. There's a place that's pretty good, hides them away from the smog at night. I've heard she's been taking people there, nicking them from the streets. Or at least her people have been. Thing is, I don't know why anybody would do that. So, well, I have
What's her
some ideas,
profession?
but I thought you'd have more.
What's her profession?
She don't have one, as far as I'm aware.
She's very rich.
That is pretty much her profession, yeah. But the thing is, I mean, even that is a bit in question. We don't really know what money she's got. That's the thing. We don't know where she is. We just know she's been taking people. We just know there's people vanishing. But as far as I'm aware, no money's been changing hands. That's what
Well,
concerns me. Where
that
there's
is
money, there's a
great.
trail.
Exactly. There's no money. What's going on?
Yeah, well, that is my fear.
People don't do things for free.
No, there's a cost to everything, especially here.
Yes. Well, what time does these people normally go missing? Does she always go on location?
Yeah, so about that. Usually at night. Usually around the hours of 10 o'clock sort of time, between then and 1 a.m. in the morning. Usually that's when her people are out prowling. They knock on some of the doors, apparently. I talked to a couple of the lads. Jimmy, his name was. He was a lovely lad. He's got good hands. He's good at nicking things from pockets. But he was there at one of the safe houses when they came. And apparently they knocked on the door, came on in, polite as all hell. But offered him some stuff, coin, food, place to stay, a job, whatever they thought they could offer him. And well, they took it with them. Other thing that concerns me, actually, there were a couple of them there. A couple of the other kids were from other countries. Some were from Germany back in the day, a couple from China, and the like. They knew their languages. That struck me as weird. Only on account of the fact that we haven't had many people coming in since the reclamation. Since before then.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What do her people look like?
I've heard they wear a strange pin. It's a pair of serpents intertwined, heads facing each other. But other than that, they come in all shapes and sizes. Dressed up as bakers, dressed up as fun gentlemen, dressed up as people from our gangs. It don't matter what.
But they have a pin. This almost sounds like a cult.
Yeah, maybe. Something like that, maybe. I don't know. Point is, I want to get to the bottom of this, and I thought you, Alucard, might have a bit more insight in this, given that you apparently deal with shady goings-on that are more unknown from what I've heard.
Yes, I'm somewhat of a detective, and go get my posts on the city. I'm kind of well known, so I could always try and come at her through that regard as an interested party.
That could work. Well, whatever you think is appropriate, we can do, but well, the way I see it is I'll come along. I know bits about the streets. I can take you to some places to see certain people I know. Of course, Lilith knows a lot about it as well. I'm sure with our heads together we can figure this out. But I'd probably say you two should take the lead on this.
All right. You sound like a private investigator. We'll follow your lead to, for this kinds of parts, Alucard. I would like to talk to some of the people who've seen this in the safe houses, especially maybe some of the foreign ones. That sounds,
Of course.
bizarre.
Yeah, it does a bit. It's a very educated kind of thing. Don't see that around. Anyway, yeah, we'll go there then. Finish up your pints first, though. Of course, you don't want to rush your drink. We'll finish that and we'll get off. Any other questions from you two, though, before we set out? I don't want to be speaking about this too openly in the streets, in case they have more ears than we know about.
True. How long has this been going on?
For as far as I'm aware, only about 2 weeks.
All right.
It might have been going on longer, but I've been having reports from the streets for 2 weeks.
Do we know anyone who you can trust who has had people take on, who was there but chose not to go, may have seen something.
Yeah, probably Jimmy. Like I said, he's the one who saw him and said no. Apparently most of the other kids, the ones that have seen him, go with him quite willingly. They seem very keen to go, if anything. Which, you know, in all honesty, I can't blame them. I look after this place, I look after this district and the kids here the best I can, but there's only so much you can do.
There is much.
So,
Oh, it's Jimmy.
Jimmy, he's only around 8 years old. Not old. Quite a young lad. I'm not going to give you his life story, but it's not the best. And he's a nice kid.
I'm sure.
He learnt the tools of his trade out of necessity, as many of us do. So, yeah. But I could take you to him. Like I said, he's by one of the old rookeries.
Right, well, we should definitely talk to him and see where maybe they've left something behind.
Might be an idea.
Cater.
Yes, definitely. Do we not know what estate she lives in? Someone who's that more known to have money, or at least have one of the estates. Do we know that at least?
We don't. That's the issue here. Like I said, Alucard, it's a weird one, right? Because you'd think if they're going to go and take people, if they're going to offer people, then usually they have something to bring, like cash or a place. But as far as I'm aware, none's been said.
Who does she get her papers from then to enter the city and have residence?
That's the thing. I looked for papers. I called a couple of my guys that know how to get them papers. They found nothing on her. There is no Miss Graves. Lady Graves, as she called herself.
Well,
And there's no properties that are associated with her.
we know about how that kind of gets about sometimes. But you can find them. It's just difficult.
Indeed. And if worst comes to worst, you know, we just agree to go along with one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
All right, well, let's be off then. Finish your pint.
Alright. No, Robbie just he's got like 3/4 of it left and he just downs it, he just like chugs it, just glugging it down, he's like, and then like wipes his face clean of the suds. Alright, yeah, I'm ready when you lot are.
Good. Is it feasible to say that I would have had a drink before I came?
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay.
You could have had a drink before you came. You had a little whole nibble before you came.
Just a little snack.
Wait, I've got the feeling that the time continuum is in danger. Let me just take a snack. And they were like, oh, right then, sir, if the time continuum's in danger, you could have a tipple.
The forensic senses are tingling.
But yeah, so you get ready and you finish your pints and drinks and you get going out. And you head out through this sort of dingy-looking bar with the many sort of shady, obvious gang-affiliated members that are in here who are kind of having a drink and giving you an alright and stuff like that, and they're giving you a nod. They all seem to know you both, so they don't give you any hassle at all. They, they know you're one of them in a way. They know you're working with Robbie. And as you step out into the streets, the cobbled, kind of rough stone paths of London, and the massive city above head that you can see casting you in shadow, the only light here by the gas lamps that are across the hanging from little posts, you begin to make your way through and towards the old rookery area. And eventually, as you make it there, Robbie takes a few twists and turns through a quite snake-like path. There's a lot of off-turns and the like, and makes it to what looks to be just a leaned door against a wall that doesn't look like it's in any way got anything behind it. And he just kind of gives it a dug, 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 and then he gets a reply of dug, dug. And they open it up. And you see a small hole, only looks to be about 4 foot tall and about 2 foot wide, like it's really small. And you see like a young lad poke his head out, and he's quite dusty, his hair is matted and kind of slicked back a bit with oil and muck, and he looks out from where he's at and up at you all and goes, oh, alright, Robbie, and you two are?
Lilith.
Alucard.
Right, well it's a pleasure to meet you both.
You must be Jimmy. It's a pleasure meeting you.
Hi, it's a pleasure to meet you too, miss and sir. Are you here about the people going missing?
Yes, we're trying to find them. Could you tell us what you saw, Jimmy?
Oh, I can tell you. Don't mind the beeping, that's just a really loud mouse. Um, I could tell you. So, we were... Well, actually, do you want to come in? There's a door around the side. You go around the back. There's a wall that looks like it leads nowhere. You climb over that, and you'll be there. Only this hall was a bit small, I think, for you.
I think I could fit through that hole.
All right, miss, he says and kind of slicks on back.
I'll see the other two of you inside.
Yeah, Robbie just kind of looks at you, Alucard, and goes like, I ain't got a bloody chance of fitting in that.
I look at my like 6 foot, like broad-shouldered self.
Yeah, like you're both 6 foot tall, broad-shouldered lads. Like, oh, that's a small opening. And you both make it round, however, quite simply. And as for you, Lilith, you're kind of crawling through these little rat runs. Mm-hmm. And there are some rats in there that kind of move past you.
Do I find the beeping? The squeaking one?
Yeah, there's a mouse there that's going, squeak, 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 really annoyingly. And you see the kid kind of pet it and go like, it's all right, stop squeaking. And it goes, squeak, and then stops. And he continues to crawl on through the muck. And you make your way out into a quite small room, only about 15
you
foot.
have there.
It's only about 15 sort of foot square. And there's quite a few kids in there. There's about 10 of them. And they're all kind of huddled up in different corners under blankets. And, you know, they're of sort of various ages and nationalities and the like. They're an absolute mix and match of all sorts of different throwaway people, basically. They've all been thrown away. They've all either been lost or they've been cast aside when they've got to the country or when their parents can't afford them anymore. And they all look, you know, not the happiest. They're all quiet. They're all huddled for warmth. And they do have a lot of the exits sealed off with like bits of wood and paper to not let the smog in. And meanwhile, you, Alucard, and Robbie manage to climb your way over the wall quite easily. You clamber on up, and you get on over to a door and you enter through the opposite side, and you see the same scene as you see these sort of gaggle of kids all kind of sat about, blankets around them, some of them coughing up a nasty sort of almost inky black substance from them, from all the smog they've been sort of, you know, breathing in. And one of them, the one that met you, Jimmy, seemingly, only 8 years old, quite a small lad, but looks to be sort of taking almost charge here. And he just look over and go, come in, yeah, there's not much space for you, but if you can take a seat anywhere. We're not really picky about that.
All right. Kind of look around. Kind of sit down. I think I would like brought some food.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have said.
Yeah, you can have certainly done that.
To bring something.
So what food did you both
kiddos.
bring? I'm curious.
I put like 2 loaves of bread.
Yeah.
Lilith probably would have tried to get some dried fruit or something with some sweetness to it.
Yeah. So you managed. Yeah, you managed to find some dried fruits, and you managed to find 2 nice fresh loaves of bread, and you bring them in, and a lot of their eyes are kind of like looking over at it, just like, what is this actual food? Like, non-rained on in the gutter food. What is this?
Yes, I'll hand it out.
Yeah, the kids all happily take it. There's the couple that are a bit more sick, kind of stay in the corner and are a bit paler and shivering and coughing this nasty substance up. And you do see them sort of stay where they are, but a couple of the other kids do take them. And they're kind of like, thank you, miss, thank you, sir. And they take them over and start feeding them to them and patting them on the back. And they seem to look after each other a lot here. Then Robbie does look around a bit like,
My heart. Not Lilith's heart, but my heart.
Yeah.
I probably would have bought some fresh water as well, I guess.
That's fine, you can do that. As you've got some like bottled water that you pop out. Yeah, and they take one of those immediately over to the sort of sicker looking boy. And he kind of nods and begins to sort of sip from the bottle. And he does say a few words back in a very familiar accent to you, Alucard. It seems this boy may have came from back home. So probably like the second generation of the folks that came across, about the time that you did, basically.
Okay. Yeah, I think Alucard kind of like looks, but then kind of focuses on like the mission.
Right. I'm Jimmy, and you see Jimmy turns around and goes, yeah, sorry, Robbie, yeah, I'll get my food later. And he's like, no, you can eat, just, you have some food while we chat, but we need to have a chat, mate, if that's alright. Yeah, alright, and I'm not in trouble, am I? No, mate, you're not in trouble. No. I've just got these two very lovely individuals here that brought you that food, and they just need to know a few things about the people. Oh, you mean them people? Them people. Right, alright, yeah, sure, he says and steps up and goes, what do you want to know?
What were they asking you? You all... How did they introduce themselves?
Oh, they introduced themselves as the Samaritans. They said they were the Samaritans. Like in the Bible kind of thing. I've heard a bit about it from the sort of shouty preachers. And yeah, they called themselves that. And they said they were here on account of a Lady Graves and that she was here to offer us an opportunity to redeem ourselves, to be cleansed of our sin. And I mean, it seemed weird to me, but the rest, they were really into it. Like I've never seen them so into something before. Like they were really taken in. And some of them, I know they didn't believe in that shit, but they were taken in immediately. And it was weird. Like the one who came, he was very...
Was it just one person who came?
Yeah, first time, one person. Gentleman. A bit lanky, but weird.
One way.
His skin was like not a normal colour. Like grey. Like it was like almost like dust, you know? Like it was that kind of grey. It was weird. I've not seen grey folk before. Seen all kind of folks, but the only time I've ever seen that kind of a look is, well, you know, when they ain't living.
Was it tied to the face, or was it wrinkled?
His face was quite tight, yeah. It was very defined, but he wore a big hat, and he wore a big coat, and gloves. But on his face, it was just this taut, grey skin. I couldn't see his eyes, sir. But he was dressed almost like a missionary man. Like, do you know them vicar collars? He had one of them. It was weird.
Spoke to you normally?
Kinda normal. He was a bit dull. Like his voice was very level. Even when he got more passionate about it, it was level. It was like everything he said was a fact. Everything he said was just how it was. There wasn't any glory in it. There wasn't any sort of uncertainty. It was sure. If that makes sense.
No, it does.
So that was the first time he visited. Did he give you all a name, or was he just a Samaritan?
Oh, I think... Did he give us a name? He says, and he looks over at the rest, who kind of look a bit like... I don't know, like a lot of them shrug, and there's one of the younger girls who seems to have very red, sort of curly hair that's matted with, you know, sort of mud and the like, and she looks up and goes, I think they told me a name. I'm pretty sure I heard it.
What was that name?
He called himself Outreach, which I thought was a really weird name.
That is a very weird name.
I don't know why he called himself that. Like, it didn't seem in the name to me. The only place I've ever heard that is when people are, say, reaching out to try and help you. Or if they're, like, people that are trying to recruit you, for gangs. And they're like, they'll sometimes call it outreach into the children to make it seem better, to try and get them into crime and the like.
Well, thank you. That is a very odd name. And Jimmy, you said that the first time it was just this one individual.
Yeah.
How many times have they visited?
They've visited about 3 times, actually, in the last few nights. A couple weeks back, and then they've visited a couple recently. They're very eager.
How many came the last 2 times?
3. There was Mr. Reach, as we've come to know him, on account of him being real tall, and also on account of him giving us the name Outreach. And there was also 2 others. He didn't say who they were. They were shorter men, hunched almost, wearing big old coats and hats just like him. I couldn't see their faces.
Oh, so you don't know if they had grey skin as well?
No, I don't know what they were like. They were very shadowy, and kept themselves covered up. Didn't want people to see him almost. But Mr. Reach, he was still in that same uniform. Still with his big speeches about religion and all that. About redemption and cleansing of our sins, and that Lady Graves would be able to offer us a way to do so. Now, I don't really get that. I mean, I'm only 8. I don't think I've sinned that much.
Yes, no person can do that for sure.
Yeah.
You said that Robbie mentioned to me that maybe they spoke other languages than just English.
Yeah, he says, and he kind of looks over to the young girl from before that he kind of spoke up, and she kind of goes, yeah, he spoke in different languages. He spoke in Chinese was one I recognised. I picked up a few words a couple of years back when I was near the Chinatown end of town, and also spoke a couple of others. German, I believe.
German, really?
Yes, we have a kid here who was German. He was a lovely boy, but he was taken away. He went with him. It's like whatever he said in his language was compelling him that much. His eyes widened, and he seemed almost immediately to be like, I need to go. Thing is, he was probably the most timid of all of us. I'd never seen him be that way before. He was always shy. He always kept himself away, tucked away in the back.
When this Mr. Rich talks to you,
Aye.
does he stare unblinkingly?
Oh, I wouldn't know. I haven't seen his eyes. I have. You've seen his eyes. He does. He stares. Very dark eyes, almost. A look in them that's so... I don't know how to describe it. It's so certain. Like when you look at some people, their eyes, they'll look away a bit. But his are just set on whatever it is. And he doesn't leave them. When he's addressing you, he looks at you the entire time in your eye, and you cannot look away. I luckily took myself away last time, but I was tempted one of the times to go. I don't know why. Seems weird to me.
What did you feel when he spoke to you?
Wanted? Like I was needed? Like there was somewhere for me to be? Something I'm not exactly used to.
Does this sound like the kind of kept eye contact, the kind of mannerisms and speaking? Does it sound like hypnotism or like charming?
So, could you give me what have you got that's relevant to that sort of knowledge, do you think? On your sheet, what do you reckon would be good for that? Otherwise, we can go with a straight up investigation for your supernatural stuff.
Forensic? No.
Not forensics, unfortunately.
I mean, I don't have I was gonna take like hypnotism, but I don't have hypnotism or anything like that, or psychology, but just like background stuff with like.
Yeah, that's fine. So, if you just give me, I'll make it an easier DC, and if you just give me a straight up intelligence check, we'll call it. So intellect.
Okay.
And you can add a +2 because this is something that you've talked about it before with your other members of the Nocturne. So.
All right. Yeah, there's a actual thing there. Ha ha ha. 15.
Brilliant. So on your 15, you think, and you do get it in your head, and you're like, that sounds like hypnotism. You know there are some vampires. You haven't heard of it in other things, but you know that there are some vampires who were able to lock eyes with someone and to completely enthrall them into their will. Like, they will behave how they want them to, and they will feel drawn to this person. There are some vampires that are so powerful that even a look could completely enthrall a weaker-minded individual for life. It's a terrifying ability, but you only really ever hear about it from very powerful creatures, very old vampires. And you also know that there has been reportings that have been falsified of hypnotism being from vampires where psychologists have done it. They seem to be able to emulate some of the effects.
And this doesn't seem like a kind of situational hypnotism with just like hand movements and a continuation of like tone. This seems like a supernatural kind of.
It doesn't seem to be the same as you'd expect from somebody like a doctor, no, for sure. Like, it definitely seems to be more akin to that of a something supernatural, something weird is going on. Okay. Like, it's not normal.
All right. Well, if they ever come back, I don't want any of you to go to them. They're so persuasive. We don't know what they're doing. So for your own safety, no matter what they say when you're hidden, do not let them lock eyes with you. Do not go to them.
All right, sir. Yeah, I'll try and remember that. I'll make sure the rest of them don't answer it or something. Yeah, like I said, it's weird. It's just weird. Do you know what's happening? Do you know where he takes them?
We're trying to find that out.
Well, there might be a way. He kind of looks around. Lee, he says as he looks around, and a lad kind of looks up and goes, yeah? Didn't he say he was coming back tonight? Yeah, I think he did. I think he said he was... I think he said he was coming back tonight, yeah. He said he was coming to give us another offer. See if those who were uncertain, if they wanted to go. He then continues to kind of cough, and Jimmy nods. Yeah, no, he is. No, there were a couple of them that... Well, he said he'd be back to offer him again. Right. Well, maybe you should have told us that before we came here, but good to tell us that at the end of the conversation, Jimmy. Yeah, all right. Sorry, Mr. Robbie. It's fine. Robbie kind of crosses his arms and just leans against the wall a bit more.
Had to sit in this filth.
No, he seems all right. He just seems to be like feeling a bit bad for him, but you get the feeling from him that he's like, I wish I could do more than I'm doing, but he's keeping his face on because he's got a reputation to keep.
I can see through it.
Yeah, you can see he's like genuinely like wishing he could do more.
I go into a coat pocket and I have like a cigarette case, but it's not a cigarette case. It's actually like a card holder.
Oh, okay.
I got a card, and I know I can't read. I just kind of hand it to Jimmy, and I just say, I have a contact I met a while ago. Her name was Lady Dunmire. She has a place where she takes in people, children. She has a hospital too. If you go to her, tell her I sent you. I'll smooth it over when she comes to me and why I did that.
Oh, thank you. We'll make sure to take a few of them there. We don't want to put them out too much, but we'll get a few of them there.
Yeah, take the sick ones.
Yeah, we'll take them there. Shauna, he says, he looks at the sort of red-haired girl, and she goes, hey, tomorrow, do you reckon you can take him there? I can do that for you. We'll get him there. It'll be difficult to get up the lifts, but I'm sure if we have this card, we can at least get him through somehow. I'm sure you'll figure it out. Yeah, alright, the plan, yeah. So, I'm sick of seeing people go missing. So... How about I'm bait? How about I be bait? I can go with them. You can follow? I don't want any of them getting taken anymore.
Do they only ever take children?
Yeah. That I know of. At least as far as I'm aware. And Robbie pipes in at this and goes, it's not only children, they're taking other people too. But the children are the ones that are giving offers. The rest are just going missing. The way I see it is, they make children an offer, then draw them in. But the older ones are a bit wiser, a bit more, set in their ways. They don't want to go. They wouldn't trust something like that. So they just take them.
She looks over at Alucard. Could follow them?
Yes, you can definitely do that. If worst comes to worst, I can interrogate one.
And it's about that time that on the door, the outside one, you do hear a dum, 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 dum. A very meaty fist hitting the door, and Jimmy jumps and then kind of goes, that's them.
They're not here.
Alright, miss. Alright. He says, and he
She's kind of
straightens
like
up his
back in the
jacket.
Robbie and Alucard, like, we gotta hide.
A quick, it's been a while since play, so a quick say.
Yes.
Do I sense undead?
You don't.
Okay.
It's off. You don't understand why. You've never felt this before. But something is off about this. You don't feel undead. You don't feel life. You just feel weird.
I just feel awkward.
And, yeah, exactly. You just feel awkward. And about that time, Jimmy kind of crawls out and goes to the door and opens it, and then you begin to hear their conversation through the rat crawly way that you came in before. So, have you decided to be absolved, Jimmy? Yes, sir. Yes. You know that the Lord will look upon you kindly if you do this. Lady Graves knows what she's doing. She can absolve any of their sin that is latent within them at birth. Yes, sir. And the others, do they wish to join you in your absolution? No, sir. No, it's just me, sir. Just me. Very well. We will take you to your friends. You will see them again. Of course, once we have cleansed you of your sin, Jimmy. Of course, sir. You are sure there are no one else within there that wishes to come, that wishes to be absolved? No, sir. Just me. Very well, boy. Stay close by. And you begin to hear their footsteps. And the door closes on the other side.
Alucard doesn't say anything, but just kind of nods and...
Yeah, like, Robbie's going to the door already upstairs. He's, like, over there. He's pulled that door open, and he's stepping out into the bit where you had to climb over a wall. Because he can't fit out the other way. Yeah. What about the other two? What are you guys doing?
What time is it?
It is around 11:30 at night.
Ooh, good. Oh, nighttime? Boo.
Yeah, nighttime.
My natural state. Boo.
I'm in my natural state of boo.
Lilith will kind of just... She doesn't look happy about this. But she'll kind of just gesture like, alright, let's go.
Alright, let's do it. And, alright, so you get going. So, as you make it out and you're sneaking behind...
I'm actually going to climb buildings.
Oh, okay. Sure. Could you give me a quick climbing check then, please? So, yeah, that'll be interesting.
So I'm gonna so I have acrobatics.
Yeah, we'll use acrobatics for this. We can say you're like jumping, flipping, and swinging between things.
Like a ninja.
Like a ninja.
In the roofs.
Given it's the urban sprawl, you can totally pull that off. So.
Nice.
What'd you get?
It's okay. I'm just remembering all my stuff and how to add.
Yeah, right.
Do I add coordination to that as well? Or?
You certainly do. No, you don't. You just add acrobatics. Just your acrobatics.
Okay, cool.
Confusing myself with a different system for a second there. So.
Okay. Ooh, 12.
That's good enough for you. These buildings are quite squat and low, and you manage to swing up and get on top of the roof of one. Now, they're very rickety roofs, so you will need to make more acrobatics checks to continue running as you do. But for now, on the building you're on, you can see this very tall, he looks like 8-foot tall figure. He is a giant man, and he's just this big man in a big old hat and big coat and these gloves, and he looks to be dressed almost a bit religiously in the manner that you can see sort of a big cross on his back, like kind of embroidered into his coat. And aside from that, you do see the very small, like almost miniature looking Jimmy next to him, sort of led by the hand. And Robbie steps out as well, and he's just like, right, fuck, alright, I'm gonna have to be a bit more behind. I'm not good at snaking like you, Lilith. If you want to go ahead with her card, I get that. I'll be a bit behind. Just let me know if anything goes down.
Alright, I can do that.
Alright, I'll be right behind
you.
you.
Want me to stay back here and help you?
No, I'll be alright. He says and nods. I'll manage. And,
scream or something if you need help.
Yeah, will do. I'm good at that.
You are. And she will stealth.
Yeah. So give me a shadow. And could you also give me a shadow, Alucard, as you are kind of on top of a roof, so hopefully the moon isn't painting you in the night sky, just like da-da-da. Doing like a Batman pose, like.
I know, right? Yeah. Let me do that for you.
Please.
My footsteps are super quiet.
What'd you get?
17.
17. All right, on a 17, you're all right.
All right.
You pass.
Huzzah.
It's okay. I'm trying to like remember what my stuff is. Yep. Oh, an 11. Why is it going lower?
And 11. All right, so you're both sneaking along for a while, and you follow him, and he winds through a few streets, and you jump between a few different houses, and Lilith, you're kind of creeping along and taking alleys that you know will get you a better viewpoint, and occasionally you do see Robin behind you at times, like in the distance, just kind of tucking away in between different things, and Alucard. As you're rounding onto a more sort of open estate looking area, which seems to have a big work yard, and at the back of it is a what looks to be like an old schoolhouse almost, and like this yard in front that used to be used as like a playground that is now sort of just wrecked. There's like climbing frames like that are broken up, and there's old kind of lines where there was like a ball field and things like that have all been sort of faded in time, and there's this old school in the distance. And as you get there, you realize there's no more buildings for you to jump onto. It is like a plain area just around that school, and you slip on a tile and kick it, and it kind of flies out and just crashes into the middle of the road and just shatters. And you see Jimmy flinch really hard, and then you see Mr. Reach turn slowly towards it and then looks around. And could you give me another shadow check, please?
I be myself. I'm gonna push myself.
Okay, cool. So you're gonna use one of your second chances to reroll.
Jesus, 11, 12, 11, 10.
12, 11, 10. You're gonna reroll. It's gonna be 9.
I know.
All right. So if you give me another roll.
17.
Oh, yeah.
All right, 17 is better, a lot better. And Mr. Reach, on the other hand, is going to give a bit of a go of that themselves. And we'll see if they... Oh, God, so they got an 18. No! For those watching. So you took away And Mr. Reach turns, looks at the tile. His head then almost mechanically just turns up to look at you, and you tuck yourself away expertly, sort of in a little nook and cranny. But his eyes bore into you almost, like you feel his gaze upon you as he just stares. And I'd like you to give me a very quick willpower check, please.
Yeah. So I have a thing, resolve.
Yeah?
So is this like a fear or something, or like a mind thing? Because I'm immune to mind control.
You are immune to mind control, yeah. So you feel this, but give me a willpower check. It's more to see what you gauge from it. You're not going to be put under his thrall. You are immune to mind control, so...
Okay.
Well, lucky for you.
I didn't know if it was like fear or anything, so...
It doesn't know that, so, you know.
What do I use?
Yeah.
Will, you said?
Will, yes.
You can always pretend to go wrong. You know what it is.
16.
16? Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it doesn't take you over, but you do feel that feeling at the back of your head, where if you were fully alive, if you weren't a Dampier, that you know, this would have probably made you reveal yourself fully to him. Or do something, you don't know what. But you feel that pull of somebody who is trying to pull at your mind.
Can I tell what it's trying to do?
Give me a very quick, it's an intelligence check to try and decode what the brain is kind of telling you, because it's a vague feeling, so...
Brain, tell me the truth.
15, okay. Yes, actually, you can. It was a simple command that was sent to your brain. And it simply stated, throw yourself off the roof.
I'm going to do it. Because I was reading my acrobatics, and it says that I know how to fall.
Yeah, you know how to fall, so you're
Like,
only...
high height.
If you throw yourself off the side of the roof that he can't see, he won't know how you land.
Yeah.
Okay, so where are you throwing yourself off of the roof? Keeping in mind this is probably like it's a 2-story building, so it's you know.
What I would try to do is like go to where like a building like is like maybe like a few feet away from another one and fall off in between.
Oh, into the alley.
What I'm trying to do is what I'm gonna try and do is like kind of bounce off the wall so I can kind of like tumble off one side and then like kind of do a roll into a fall forward and like.
Oh, that's cool.
And then like be on the ground if he comes to look. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're living up to your name. You're doing some like Castlevania wall jumping shit right there. I love it. And yeah, so you tumble off. And could you give me the acrobatics check then, please? As he believes you. You know, he's like, throw yourself off. And throw yourself off. What is it?
It's a good fall. 17.
You will absolve yourself of sin. 10. Okay, so yeah, on that roll, you do actually, given your supernatural, you know, being, you can take more force of falls, and you
This is why I'm on the ground.
Yeah, and you kind of roll, and then you're completely fine. But he just sees you disappear into an alley, and he just kind of looks and nods, and then turns and begins to walk back towards the school. And Jimmy's just like, what's going on, mister?
Just saw like Alucard throw himself off a roof.
And he's like, nothing, child. Everything will be explained in time. There was merely a bat I saw on the rooftop. Pay it no mind. And they continue to walk again.
A secret.
So, yeah, you see him walk into the schoolyard and begins to make his way towards the old school. And you see this as well, Lilith. You do see Alucard just throw himself off the building. You don't see him land. You just see him throw himself off a building. After the figure had looked at him.
The alleyway, well, I'm passing by, because...
Yeah.
The hell, dude?
Alright, so you managed to, you check out the alleyway, and what how did she find you?
With concern, like, but also, like, bewilderment, like, what the fuck?
So you see me, like, forehead first into, like, his alleyway, and you come round, and I'm just, like, dusting off my hat.
Yeah.
Everything all right? I could have sworn I just saw you throw yourself off a roof. That's all.
No, I saw that he noticed me I made a calculated adjustment. This alleyway's walls were close enough where I could get down safely.
Right.
Just like some hole prints, so my fist bumped into it.
Right. Well, it is. Keep following him then.
Don't
What are we
worry, it's
talking
all
about?
completely normal.
Says Robbie as he walks into the alley and goes, we're losing him.
Sorry, he just saw someone throw themselves off a roof, and I was concerned.
You threw yourself off a roof. He says he kind of looks at you, Alaka, just like, fuck.
So
Why'd you do
okay, I
that?
just have years of training in the circus, all completely normal.
Oh, right, you're one of them circus lads. Oh, fair enough then, he says. And kind of
They're quite flexible.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, I've seen some trapeze things before and stuff. It's quite interesting.
I've been to the circus a couple of times.
Have you? Yeah, I've been once when I was a
It
kid.
passed through town about 3-4 months ago. It's delightful.
Fair enough.
Yes. See, it's quite enjoyable. Should we go save the child?
Yeah, that's a good
Let's-
point,
let's-
actually. Yes, let's go. And he kind of looks at where they're taking him. He's like, "Oh no, I don't like this. I don't want to go back to that school."
Creepy old school.
Yeah, it's yeah, I've heard things about that place.
What have you heard about this
Well, it's
place?
supposed to be haunted, isn't it? And I don't like ghosts, really. So you know.
My place is supposed to be haunted. There's no ghosts. I'm the ghost.
You ain't a bloody ghost. He says. He looks at you. He's like, "You're not fooling me."
You heard the rumors. I started them. And look, it's probably not haunted. It's before she's met an actual ghost. It's probably not haunted. It's probably just someone saying that there's ghosts to keep people away.
Yeah, you got a point.
I've
You
done.
got a point. Ghosts aren't real. Ghosts aren't real, Robbie. Yeah, all
Of
right.
course not.
It's true.
Ghosts aren't real. Right. Okay. Yeah. Let's go. Let's go. All right. Let's do this.
I'm
Let's
so
go back to
scared of your
school.
ghost. Your ghost mom.
Ghost boyfriend.
So scared of your ghost boyfriend.
This is like, there isn't such thing as ghost, and then round the corner there's just like, you know, Alejandro, your ghost boyfriend, who you can never quite see, is just looking and just going like, there is a such thing as ghosts. I love you. And vanishes
I love
into
it.
the night. And you hear none of it. But Robbie just kind of look around and go, did you hear something?
No.
I must be thinking about ghosts too much. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, stop
It's
thinking
fine.
about ghosts. I kind of just ruffle his head, like his hair a bit. Just stop it.
There's no
Yeah, you
such
kind
thing
of-
as those things.
All right, yeah, you got a point. I'm sorry. I'm getting a bit. Let's go save him. Let's get beat up this Mr. Reach or whatever.
Yes.
Yes.
Something like that.
All right, fuck, let's do this. He says and nods and gets going.
Are you armed, by the way?
Yeah, I'm armed.
I have arms.
Yeah. I got he kind of pulls out a knife. He's like, I got a knife. Got a blackjack in this pocket.
I have charm and wit. And a pair of handcuffs.
I mean, two of those things could be useful if he wasn't who he was. Yeah, have my little revolver. Take it.
I don't really do the whole weapon thing. I mean, I guess I'll hold on to it. Let me know if you just want it back, because I don't. You know, it's fine.
You get separated, and you're the only one who can save Jimmy.
Good point. I'll do my best. You just point and squeeze
Yes, away. I cannot remember.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah, away. Away from us, preferably. Don't test it.
No, I just only test it if I need it.
Yeah.
And in the moment, it'd be like a live action test. All right, let's go. And I just kind of uncomfortably just sticking it up the pocket.
So you begin to make your way towards the school grounds, and ahead of you is a large-looking, old, worn-down school. But as you're approaching, could you give me a wit check for both of you, please?
Perception.
Yes.
Wait, what's my weight? God. My weight is 3, so I should have plus.
Cool.
Oop.
And what have you both got?
So 18.
18. And Lilith?
A 17, surprisingly.
Nice. So you both notice this actually then as you approach, that there are actually little lights that you can see in some of the windows. It seems there are candles that have been lit, and each of the windows has a single candle in it.
I don't like that. That's a lot of candles. Who can afford that many candles?
Who's maintaining them?
That too. It's fire hazard.
Especially in that old building.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it is, but I don't think fire codes are exactly their thing that they're worried about.
No.
And given your role, as you sort of begin to approach, you do see 3 of the candles blown out. Just 3 of them go out.
Perhaps we should be more stealthy as we move forward.
Wow, what's up?
3 candles just went out, and there's 3 of us. Yes.
Oh, you had to make that connection, didn't you? Did he see you put them out?
No, they just went. I'm not a sniper. I don't have eagle eyes.
Right, yeah, I'm sure it's fine. Nothing spooky about that. Just regular old spooky.
It's
Right.
just regular people spooky.
It's
Alright,
probably
so-
just some gang that's doing drugs.
Yeah,
Or
that's-
I suspect a cult, and I don't like that.
I liked Alucards. That was putting me at ease. A gang is something I can manage. That's something I do manage. But like, cults are a bit.
No, I don't like them.
heebie-jeebies. Okay. Well, anyway, let's get going then. So we're gonna be sneaky. So you 2 are gonna sneak. I'm gonna
Sneak
try to
a little
sneak.
farther behind. Yes.
So, are we getting in there anyway? We take it front door or?
Oh, maybe not the front door. How did they go in? Did they go into the front door?
They went in through the front door. You saw Mr. Reach just open at the door and close the door.
I just feel like the front door is too obvious.
Yeah, it might be. So
Oh,
through the
no.
window.
They never suspect it.
You're right. They'd never expect it. I'm gonna go through front door.
I was more saying the person who can smooth their way in any situation.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, sure. Lilith, do you want to take the front door then?
Sure.
You got your gun. You'll be all right. Unless it's a ghost.
Yes.
In which
it'll
case,
be
guns
fine.
don't work against ghosts. It's a little
There's
known
no
fact.
such thing as ghosts.
I hope not for our sake that there's no such thing as ghosts.
I'm sure
Don't pay attention to that ghostly music that just emanated from nowhere.
like a minstrel that travels right behind us.
Don't mind me.
Alright.
Let's hide by car.
No such thing as a ghost. Let's hope it's a gang doing drugs. I'm very good at dealing with those. Right, I'll just...
Could you look more disheveled? Maybe you could just say you heard about this place and
Oh, Robbie, do you know that child's name who got taken that only spoke German?
The what, sorry?
Child's name who they took, the
Oh.
German one. Do you know his name?
Yeah, I believe his name is Gunther.
Gunther. All right, I've got an in. She'll kind of pull up. She'll flip her shawl inside out, and the other side is much kind of more like weathered and like peasant-esque looking. Definitely a lower class look. Which kind of ruffle her hair a bit, takes a couple fingers on the ground, just kind of put a little smear on the side of her face, back of her hand. Better.
Yeah, it's better. Yeah, it looks good.
All right.
All right, you. Good luck. I guess me and you, Alucard, will find another way in.
yeah, if it's a school, there's likely a back entrance for the playground area.
Probably, yeah. We'll have a look for that. Good luck, Lilith.
Thank you. And she'll just go on in.
Okay, so meanwhile, you and Robbie start sneaking off to try and find a service entrance. You're like, duk, where's the playground entrance? And, you're going for that. And Lilith, you approach the front door, and the closer you step, every single step you take, like, your heart starts to beat
Every
more.
breath I make, they're watching me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, probably. Okay.
And, the bard behind you starts playing. No, I'm kidding. That's the ghostly bard that no one hears.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, you approach this massive kind of overhang of this school, and there's a very grim look to the entire place. It's all dour stone, and there is, these big old doors that have got chipped off paint that are sort of stood there, and there's all these old playground areas that are worn down, rusted, and horrible. It's strange to see. And as you get closer, You get to the doors, and there is a slight glow coming from inside, from a table nearby, seemingly some sort of candles that were sort of reflecting light back in through the small panes.
And
of
I am going to
glass.
try to be quiet
You
coming
are?
in.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So give me a shadow, then, please.
Just coming through the front door, but I don't want to be loud. I don't want to be super obvious about it. They cannot see me. That's the best. But if they do see me, I can hopefully talk my way in or out.
And what did you roll?
I rolled a 20.
Oh, a 20. Okay.
For
Thought it was
my
bad with how you reacted there. I was like...
No, it was really good, actually. I'm just nervous.
Okay, so you open the door and you see that it's about to squeak, and so you lift the handle slightly and you push, and it just slides on open quietly, and you close the door. And just stood inside of a hallway, it seems to lead through. There is indeed a sort of little candle on a little tray, like a carrying tray, that is at the side of you, a red candle, freshly lit, and it smells fragrant. It smells like roses, almost. And aside from that, you do see sort of an old hallway that leads through, and you can see different classrooms off to the side. And at the head of it, you can see a big sign that basically just says, behave under God's eyes.
All right. And I don't see any people in here.
None, no.
Okay. Well, I'm not a damp here or anything. I can't see in the dark, so I'm gonna grab that candle on the tray candle.
Yeah, so you get a little candle holder that you're kind of taking around with you and illuminating it. And is there anyone you want to look for in particular? There's the rooms off to the side. There's like 2 classrooms either side of you, and then there's like this big sign at the end and sort of a bigger door there.
I'm definitely gonna peek into each classroom just to see what I see.
Okay.
Holding the candle behind so I'm not blinded by it.
Okay.
And everyone hold the torch like this. You want to hold it like this.
So you peek into the classrooms, and could you give me a very quick wit check, please?
Yeah. My super great wit score, that's a 10.
Wow. Nice. Okay, so on your 10, you look in, and you just see a candle in a window, still lit.
Okay.
And you see desks, wooden desks, and chairs. And you hear a slight metallic noise, like a clinking or something. But that's it.
Shoot, it's just a rat or something. I'll go look in the other classroom.
Okay, so you go to look in the other classroom.
Mm-hmm.
Give me another wit check. As you're just...
An 8! I'm so good at seeing things.
Your candle goes out. And we'll leave you there. So, meanwhile, Alucard, you and Robbie are going around the back of this school.
Could we just leave? I'm sure she's fine.
I'm sure she has this.
She has this. Let's just leave. Yeah. Let's not go to the creepy fucking school. Anyway, no. So you and Robbie are making your way around. You do find a side entrance. As when you wind your way around, you find yourself into a back area of the playground. And you can see something quite disturbing. At least with how creepy it looks, in the manner that you see many sort of white outlines of what looks to be children. Chalk drawn around them, all the way around the playground, just like tens of these forms.
Just a chalk outline?
Just a chalk outline of them.
Well, that is disturbing.
Yeah, that's pretty weird. Okay. Alright, well, I think there's one over there, he says, and he points past them, and there is a door that leads in. It seems to be a door to what seems to be some sort of coat room.
Can I walk over to the truck outlines?
Yeah, of course you can, yeah. And you walk over to them. And it is kind of a part of the playground that is outside of this coat room is where all these chalk outlines have been drawn around people. And they're all, like, spread out, sort of like arms to the side, legs straight, almost like a big cross. All in the same position, all dotted about in different angles throughout this.
Yeah, and because it has to be a creepy. There's like a little climbing gym or something that like
there is
squeaking because of the bloody wind.
Yeah, there definitely is. There is a climbing gym that's just going the entire time.
It's great. I'm gonna look over and see if I can spot any kind of like blood or anything like that.
Okay, yeah, give me a forensics check or an investigation check, please. The highest of your two, Sherlock.
This is where I fail. Haven't yet perfected.
No, I just failed all my wit checks, so you can succeed on your forensics.
Yeah, is that how that works? Okay.
Well, let's see.
Wait, I can't find my forensics. There it is. Okay. What do I add to my forensics? Anything?
Forensics, you just add forensics, yeah. You just add your skill, basically.
Cool. 18. I never fail.
Alright, okay, so you look through this, and as Robbie's sort of gone to the other door, and while you're doing this, he's sort of jimmying it open a bit and has clocked it open and kind of looks back. You, on the other hand, you go over, you begin to look over the areas between, and you notice that there isn't any sort of blood here. But then you notice something that does bother you. As you scrape up a bit of some of the chalk, you look at it, and a weird scent hits your nostril, one that you picked up due to you being a dampier. And as you look at that, you see it is bone dust, not chalk. Seems to be ground up bone that has been drawn, all these symbols of these children onto this ground. And as you notice this, you hear a voice.
Cracks in my distance. I just heard.
And one of the chalk lines speaks. As it goes,
Nice.
help. But you hear nothing else. But the voice definitely came from the one that you've just scraped up some chalk dust from.
Do I sense undead?
No. You don't know what you sense. It's weird.
I'm gonna put my
It's that
hand
same
on, like,
weird feeling you had before.
the center of like the chalk outline.
You put your hand on it?
Mm-hmm.
As you put your hand on it, you do sense undead a bit more. You sense a vague spirit. Help. Help us. Free us. Please, mister.
I'm gonna like disrupt the outline completely.
You're gonna destroy... Oh, disrupt it.
Yeah, disrupt the outline completely.
So as you do, the voice stops. It kind of dies out.
Oh, good! I've killed them. One.
And as you do that...
peacefully to. Oh wow.
And as you do that, somewhere in the house a candle goes out. And Lilith, that is your candle, as your candle has snuffed out. And you stood in a room. Now there is another candle.
Okay.
It is on a windowsill through the class.
Mm-hmm.
It is pitch black in the room.
I didn't see anything in the room beforehand.
You didn't, aside from the candle on the windowsill.
Is this the second? This is the second classroom.
This is the second classroom, yes.
I'm gonna go back to the first classroom and light that candle because I didn't see anything in that room. Just a weird metal squeaking, and I don't know what's in this classroom. I mean, there's one candle in this classroom. God, I'm stupid. All right, we're gonna just go to the windowsill and relight our candle.
So you begin to go over, and you go to light your candle, and as you do, you hear a metallic noise once again.
Yep.
This time just to your side, as you get halfway through the room, and you just hear a ka-tung, ka-tung, ka-tung.
Like what kind of a metallic?
Like a rattling, like a rattling.
Like the rattling of a cage.
No, not quite. Lighter
Okay.
than that.
Lighter than that.
More like somebody's taking a chain off a fence.
Okay.
Something like that, you know, that kind of a noise.
That's fine. Well,
And
I have
it's
a 20
directly
on
to your
stealth.
left.
20 on stealth. I'm just gonna step to my right a bit and like go around to the right to the candle.
So as you do, could you give me a quick coordination check?
Oh, okay, yeah, I could do that. 3. That's not great. Okay. 16.
Okay. So,
Mm-hmm.
you're walking around and you do hear another rattle, this time directly near your leg. And
I don't see anything because it's pitch dark.
You feel a cold metallic touch to your leg, basically, as you seemingly have knocked something slightly, and it rattles. And it's by one of the desks. Do you just continue? Okay.
I can't see it. I'm not gonna grab it.
So you continue through, and you make it to the candle
bear
at the
trap,
window.
for all I know. I'm not.
And you try and light it, but even you kind of light the wick, and as you do, outside Alucard, as the candle is relit, you see where you've disrupted the chalk. As you step away, you then see it kind of form back into the same shape again. Just like the wind almost blows it back into the shape it was. It's weird to look at. Robbie's still stood by the door. He's seen none of this. He's fine. He's just like, is everything all right?
Alucard's gonna like stand up, take the glasses, slowly take them off, put them in like the inner pocket, walk forward to Robbie Carr with his cane, and as he's like just like kind of tapping it, we see like there's like an anger kind of like go over Alucard's face as he kind of grabs like the ball of it, which is like a skull, just grabs it and pulls out a blade.
That's cool. But what's going on?
This place is this place is cleansed. This place needs to be destroyed.
What? Destroyed? That's a pretty big thing to say.
Those chalk outlines of children
Yeah,
made
they're a
of
bit...
bone. Dried, crusted bone.
Fucking hell. Shit, who do that?
No one good.
Alright, we need to deal with this. Let's get inside. I'm worried about Lilith now.
Yes.
Those poor kids.
Officially now, this is a nocturnal mission. Nothing survives.
I don't know what that means, but I'm all up for that. Whoever these bastards are, they can't be doing this shit. We need to hurry. Lilith in there, and God knows what else is in there.
God left this place a long time ago, and I walk inside.
Yeah. Nice line. Nice line. As you walk on in, and we'll cut from you there as you go back to Lilith.
I'm just like, please light. She's not even mouthing it because she doesn't want the sound of her lips opening and closing. And she's like...
You light it. And as you light it...
I very quietly turn around and like...
turn, and as you turn, Lilith, you see desks, many desks lined up.
Okay.
And on the desks there is what seems to be, from the top of it, a chain that hangs down. And you see a pair of manacles at the bottom. And
just manacles?
Each of the desks have that.
Oh. Okay.
And
do I see anyone in any of these manacles?
on the border of your vision.
Now that I've turned around, to my right?
As you look to your right, the border of your vision, you see almost a shadow of a figure that is sat in one of the desks.
But this is awkward. Is it looking at me?
It does look at you.
Candle?
And it basically goes, Miss Graves, you're back. What lesson is it today, Miss Graves?
Is it a child-sized figure?
It is, yes.
Okay, well that's more comforting than what I was imagining then. If it was like a big old shadow with a kid's voice, I'd have been really freaked out. She'll just, how do you say? The rumors are this lady's from Ireland.
Yes.
So she'll try to do an Irish accent.
Okay.
Oh, we're waiting for some of the other children first before we begin today's lesson.
Of course, Miss Graves. Of course. I'll be here. I'll be waiting, Miss Graves.
Oh, I know you will. And then just kind of...
You make your way away.
Yeah.
And you go out of class. And, as you do, you walk out, and could you give me a very quick shadow check once again?
Yes. Please. 15.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me just roll this roll again, and we will see.
Don't roll as well as you did last. Oh, fuck!
Okay, so on a 19,
Mm-hmm.
you walk out, and as you do, you are met with a very large figure of about 8 foot tall, who stands outside of the door you're in. And they have a massive sort of big hat that covers most of their head, and a big coat with a vicar's little white bit in the middle. And as you step out quietly, you notice them looming over you, and they look directly at you. And they simply go, "It seems you have arrived on time."
I'm going to do my best to not sort of look panicked, look confused, and maybe concerned, and in German ask, where's Gunther?
In German, he replies.
Okay.
And he says, "Gunther is below in the church. He is currently learning of his sin and how he may absolve it from his being. And you would be..."
His aunt. Oh, his aunt.
aunt.
What's too German?
"Well, let us take you to him. And what would your name be, Auntie?"
Greta.
"Greta. Follow me. Do not stray from the path. There are things in this building that you do not wish to know of. They are sinful creatures."
Dankeschön. Kind of just being like, look, try to play like, I'm just real confused.
Yeah, and meanwhile, the massive Mr. Graves, as he looks at you, could you give me a quick willpower check, please?
Oh no! It's not a great skill. Okay.
You're looking to be a 12 for this.
I got a 12!
Of all the timing. Okay, so your eyes widen slightly, and Lilith, you feel safe. You feel
It's not me to
calm.
me.
And suddenly you feel like this person is almost the kindest and the most normal person that you've ever met.
Can I re-roll that actually?
Yeah,
Right.
sure you can. You can use a second chance. Maybe beat a 12 this time.
Oh no, I got a 5!
So you do it.
So I do it. I just get it
So
on
you
with
do
this
it.
guy. I just jump his bones right here.
Oh my god. So yeah, you suddenly feel weirdly safe.
Gunther can wait.
Let's see why they call you Mr. Reach.
Perhaps we could test your reach and my inflexibility.
So, but yeah, you
Mass
feel
Effect.
safe. But for the first time, likely since you remember, there is a weird sort of calm that comes over you, and a weird sort of belonging that fills you. And he leads you, and as you walk around you, you see beautiful, very well-made classes, and it's daytime outside. And you see children sat at their desks, and they're all writing happily, and you can hear their teachers talking within their classrooms. And as you make your way through, he takes you down some stairs and into what seems to be a very beautiful-looking church room, almost. It is a little worship room. There are pews in it, and at the end of it, you can see an altar, and behind the altar is a very beautiful-looking lady with tumbling red hair and freckles on her face, and she stood at the front of a pew, and she has a big book open in front of her, and you see all your fellow children near you, as you see Gunther, and you see Jimmy, and you see multiple other children all sat there, and some of them, they just look like shadows. There are many more of them sat nearby, and they just look faceless. They are just these shadows of children. But this is normal to you. This is fine. They're just on holiday. And the lady at the front looks over and simply goes, "Oh, well, welcome to all of you coming in today. It seems we have some new people in. So you've come to also speak of your sins. Well, do not worry. I will absolve you of them all, because that is what I am here to do."
She's got a lot of time.
Yeah. Now, let us say our prayers, and then we shall continue with our day, and with this sermon that I'm going to give you today.
What does this chapel look like?
It looks very small. It is just a room. It is like a worship room. It is underground, however, which is the weirder thing.
Okay.
It has multiple pews. It has like 4 sets of pews at the front, and it has an altar at the front, which has a little area where you can place a book to read. But aside from that, there is just a small bowl near the front where you see it more as like a Baptist bowl, essentially. It's nothing too strange, that. But it looks very clean, very nice, very good.
Okay. I don't think Lilith has been in a cathedral or a chapel or anything since the incident.
Yeah.
So this is, while she does feel safe, I think she's also
suspicious.
feeling some weird
Yeah,
vibes and memories and thoughts.
definitely. And we'll leave you there. Meanwhile, Alucard, you've stepped in after your amazing one-liner, and you step into what seems to be a large hallway that has a door to your left that has a big banner on top of it, which is the one that Lilith saw earlier. And you also see doors on the sides. And could you give me a quick wit check, please?
Perception.
Yep, certainly is.
Yeah. Go, roll, go. I got a 10.
Okay, on a 10, you see nothing out of the ordinary aside from these other weird things. And you hear nothing. And Robbie sort of looks around and looks past and sees the front door, and he's like, "Where's Lilith?" "She's in one of these classrooms," he says, and he starts looking through the classrooms, and he can't spot her. And he's just like, "She's not here."
Well, she has to be somewhere. Let's just keep looking.
Right. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Unless you wanna not be quiet.
I mean, he's speaking my language with that. But it seems dangerous. We don't know what keep dealing with here, do we? Otherwise, I'm all for being loud.
Let's take another quick look, and if we can't find anything, we'll make them come to us.
Indeed, he says, and he'll get looking around as well. And could you give me another wit check, please?
Turn around, right.
Every now and then I get controlled.
Nice. 14.
Oh, nice. Okay, so on a 14, you do see there is a small insert where there is a ring and a pulley that you can pull and reveal a trapdoor. Given your dark vision, you see this.
Mm-hmm.
And Robbie's still looking around in one of the classrooms, and he's like, "This is grim. They've got chains on the desks."
Yes. It's a pulley here. Let's go down quietly.
He walks over straight towards you and sees it and goes, "All right, let's do it."
No matter what you see here today, stays here.
All right.
And I'm gonna like...
It's like incredibly loud. You're like, "Oh no!" It's one of those where you stop halfway and you're like, maybe if I go slower, and then it's like really loud, and you're like, "Oh god!" Okay. So you continue to go, and you pull it open. And as you pull it open, you then can see below there is a set of stairs that leads in, and you can hear voices from below, and you hear a sort of lilting Irish voice coming through.
Mm-hmm. Does it seem familiar?
It doesn't seem familiar to you.
Okay. I'm gonna put my sword cane away, and I'm gonna take out this like long kind of barreled gun with all this like runic etchings on it.
Yeah.
It's basically my silver gun.
Yeah.
Silver bullets, and I'm gonna like take that out.
Okay. And you begin to make your way down, and Robbie takes out his fists and starts walking down.
Let me just unsheath these real quick.
Pull the gloves off.
He's like cracking his knuckles as he's walking down. He's ready to go, and he's like walking on down. And as you get to the bottom, you do see there is a almost like makeshift chapel in here, like a little church room. And at the end of it is a lady who looks very pale and red-haired, tumbling, and has like wrinkled skin, and her eyes are very sunken, and she's speaking to all of the people there. And you can see a collection of people, children, the ones that were mentioned to have been taken before, and you also see shadows sat in some of the pews. But the thing that catches you more than that is that the walls around them have multiple people hung onto them. There are 3 on either side at the moment, and all of them look to have been stripped mostly naked, and are emaciated and have been hung as if at the gallows on the walls. And literally they seem to have made a noose, lifted them up physically, and then pinned it into the wall.
Oh, yeah.
It's nasty.
Do I get...
And you also see the 8-foot-tall massive figure of Mr. Reach in one of the corners, just listening.
Funny. Nice. Yeah, you creepy man. Do I sense undead from her?
You do not sense undead from her, but you do sense it from the other figures sitting in, the children, the shadowy forms.
And I see Lilith as well, just like, oh god, it's so great.
Lilith is sat and just looking blank, like she's just staring. At least as far as you can see. She's not saying anything, she's just staring.
Mm-hmm. She probably sat behind Gunther and Jimmy.
And you do see Jimmy's the same as well, like he is in exactly, like they're all in the same posture, they're all sat to attention, and they're all staring and blank, and all of them are in the same posture.
What is she saying?
So you hear her continue, as she seems to be speaking for some passages of the Bible, and then starts to kind of ad-lib on top of that, and then ends up going into another speech of, "And we'll make sure to absolve you of all your sins. No longer will you have to live around the adults that have corrupted all of you in such ways. No longer will you have to be afraid of them. No longer will you have to be hungry. We will make sure that all of your sins are absolved and all your needs are met. You will never again be sad. You will never again need shelter. You will always find shelter here and never will have to leave this place. You will never again have to seek home. You will never have to seek warmth. Your warmth will be through us, through the candles that burn within our building. We will keep you warm and safe." And she continues on this rant.
At this point, I kind of look to Robbie, and I just kind of make a mouth gesture about going loud. And I just kind of I walk out, and I say, as I pull out my gun,
Yep.
"Sorry, sister. Seems you have been found wanting."
Okay, and she stops. And Lilith, it's at this point as she stops her sermon, and about the time that you hear a big crash to the back right of the room, as Robbie, at least in your vision, is like full-on rugby tackled Mr. Reach into the wall. And he's like, thrown himself at him, the 6-foot northerner, and is like crashed into the wall, and there's like a creaking of wood, and you see Mr. Reach just kind of crash into it and just look down at Robbie, and he's like, oh fuck. And then at that point, I'll have you all, we'll go through reactions. So you just snapped out, Lilith, so you're going to go last on this, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So we'll probably go from left to right, so we'll be going Alucard, you react first, followed by me, and then followed by you, Lilith. As you're unfortunately going to be the slowest out of this snapping out of this
that makes complete
reality.
sense. Yeah.
So Alucard, what do you do? You've stepped out, so you found wanting, and she kind of goes, "Who are you to say anything of that sort?"
sins that you claim to be absolving do not even compare to the sins that you have created here today.
You speak of unknown things. You have no concept of that of which I cleanse here.
Let me cleanse you of your own sins, and I'm gonna like point the gun.
Yeah.
Point it to like the grappled Mr. Reach and trying to shoot him.
Go on then. Yeah, sure. You can have +2 to the shot for this. Are you aiming at any particular location?
I'm not. No.
Cool. So you're just going mid-mass.
How many? So like, how many actions do I have? Because I know we have the whole like action economy.
So I believe you have 3.
Okay.
I believe you had 3 as you were on the upper end of that.
Okay.
So we'll go with that. But there is a handout somewhere, but it'll be fine.
Somewhere in the ether.
Yeah, it's in the game, but you know.
So I have a stunt called fast aim, which means I can spend one of my actions instead of forfeiting my turn. I can use it to aim, just spending one of my actions, so I get +5 to the roll.
Oh.
You certainly do. So you aim up, get a +5 to your shot.
Yeah.
That is your stunt, so that's 1 action as you just aim up and. Well, actually, I think you get it free for that stunt. I think it's just a free aim action, isn't it?
No, it's like spend an action.
Okay, cool. So on that though, like an 18 is a solid hit as your gun kicks back and the bullet flies out and strikes him directly in the chest near the shoulder. And could you give me the damage of that, please?
Yeah. God,
so that's 2d10s plus the damage of your gun.
Yeah.
And it's a silvered bullet, did you say?
Yes, it's the silver bullet gun. So I believe it's a 4 damage. 2d10 plus 4. Boop. Die.
An 18, cool. So it strikes him and it crashes into his shoulder, and you see him shift slightly, and you do blow away a part of his shoulder as well, which kind of paints the back wall, but it seems to not have any blood. If anything, it's a weird silvery substance that paints the wall. And Robbie kind of ducks his head as it was like next to his head, and his ears ringing, and he's like, ugh. And what about the rest of your actions?
So action to shoot, right?
Yep, so you action to shoot, action to aim, so you've still got 1 thing left to do in your turn, whatever you want to do.
I think I'm just gonna shoot again.
Yeah, you can take an unaimed shot as you just give me the unaimed shot then, please. Still to 10 to mass, so no negatives here.
The grappled thing, is that still a thing?
Yep, that's still a thing, so you'll still get the bonus for him, so he'll still be giving you a +2 because, like, Robbie has basically got him.
Okay. Yeah. Oof, 8.
Okay, so unfortunately, would you like to use your second chance on that, or?
How many times can I use it? I can't remember.
You have up to your corruption. Have you used it already today?
I got 1 corruption, yeah.
Okay. So we're going to leave it there for now with the corruption then, so that you don't just suddenly become more corrupted in the future. So yeah, you shoot and it wings and it hits the side of his head, just in the wooden wall, and splinters out, and it kind of crashes outwards. And it's about that point that Robbie will give it a go, as he goes to basically give him a couple punches, and we'll go for a couple strikes. So Robbie has a bonus of. He's actually very good at fisticuffs, so he's got a bonus of +4 to this.
He's very good with his fist.
Jesus.
Grim. Okay, so his first hit is a 20, which is a very good hit. As he kind of squares up, he gets into a boxing stance after he stops grappling him, as Mr. Big is just not bloody taking it. And he just goes, all right, big lad, well, you know, I say it is, the bigger you are, the harder you fall. And he kind of goes for a hook, strikes him straight in the jaw, and unfortunately doesn't do too much damage to Mr. Big, however, as his head just kind of turns, and then he's like, fuck. So then he goes for a classic kick to the nads, which also hits and deals still only a flesh wound to Mr. Reach, as he literally just goes proper full force whack to the jaw, and you hear the force of it and the slap of flesh and bone, and there is a slight crunch, but you just see his head move, and then he kicks him right between the legs, and he doesn't even flinch. He just stands there.
Oh. All right, something's wrong with him.
And Robbie's like, oh, there's something wrong with this fucker, he says as he gets ready, and at which point their turns will come. So you see Mr. Reach goes and just literally tries to grab the back of Robbie and just throw him into the other wall across the room, and he will go for that And he rolls a solid 9 on that, so that's unfortunately a miss.
No, unfortunately. Fortunately. A miss.
And I'm back. Sorry about that. So yeah, unfortunately a miss as he grabs the back of his his shirt and just wings him across the room. He strikes the wall and dust kicks up everywhere. And he's like, "Oh, all right, everything seems fine. I didn't get thrown that hard." And he will then walk out and walks midway between you, Alucard, and Robbie, who's against the wall. At which point, the lady on the dais just kind of screams out and basically just says, "You will not take my children away from me," as she raises her hands, and you feel the force collide with you, Alucard, and she is going to use her own ability here, which is a very good hit. She rolls a 22, and you feel... Do you feel a crushing force, almost like a sledgehammer, strike you in the chest right between your ribs? As she deals, luckily, only 17 damage to you, which is...
Luckily.
What is your armor?
Let's see. So I have armor of... Looking at my 3.
3. You have 3 armor. That's good. So that would actually knock that into a... Only a serious wound. So it strikes you, and you feel cracking of ribs. You hear the cracking of ribs. It's horrible. As you're thrown back into the wall, your back collides into it. You almost lose, your hand on your gun, but you keep a hold of it, luckily, and keep it in your hand. You're like, ugh. And, yeah, you will take -2 on coordination and skill rolls until it's treated. So just keep that in mind. You've got a -2 now. So.
Can I see that? Does Dampire do anything for damage?
No, it doesn't. No, Dampier, if you hit still.
Okay, cool.
So, that in mind, we will go to Lilith. So you've seen this, you've heard all this. Like, there's a lot going on right now, it seems.
I snap out of it and then I'm like, ah, and then I see her talking and yelling and I'm like, all right. I'm not good at fighting. So, but
yeah,
he gave
there's
me
that.
a gun, and I'm also bad at shooting. So I'm gonna get closer because I'm gonna assume it's less difficult to miss the closer that I am.
Yeah, it is. They won't get cover or anything.
Yeah, so I'm like run right up to her. And then just...
Okay. So could you give me your firearm skill, so basically your handgun skill if you have it?
I don't
or
have
pistol,
it.
or no, you don't have it at all? So
No.
just roll
I
me
have
a
unarmed.
straight up 0
And it's
check.
all defensive stuff. So I actually have a -1 on it. Because I'm an albino and I have -1 to range attacks because I don't have good eyes.
Alright.
So that's a -1.
But you'll have a +2 for your range, actually. I'll give you that, because you are bang up
Okay.
next to her, so I will give you
I
that.
have a +1.
Yeah, I'll give you, like, the equivalent of 1 in guns, so...
10!
Okay. So you go up to her, you place the gun against her, and you go... And it doesn't shoot. It's not loaded. Alucard gave you a gun, but no bullets.
Way to put it on me.
I get 3 actions, right? So
You do. Maybe the other barrels have got something in.
at this point, I'm so close. I'm just gonna try to like turn the gun around and then hit her with the butt of it. Just try to brain her with a pistol. I'm trying to pistol whip her.
Yeah, sure. So have you got melee weapons?
I have unarmed combat.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you unarmed for this. Usually you
Okay.
would just roll on like a pistol to pistol whip, but I'll give you it.
Yeah.
I'll
Okay.
give you unarmed.
I have unarmed. All right. I have footwork, free dodge, and iron. Yeah. Okay. Then let's get it over here. 17.
Okay, yeah, you hit her. She's like, God
Like-
protects me, and as you do that, you go for the strike, and you hit her.
And she says that. Bah!
So it'll give
Right.
you a +1 damage to your vitality. So you add
Okay.
vitality plus an additional 1 for the gun.
All right.
And
So
it's
I
2d10s,
roll.
obviously.
All right. Cool.
As is everything in this system, so.
Yeah. Yeah. 15?
So you strike her in the side, and she kind of like steps to the side slightly, and it's like, that bloody hurt, she says as you deal a serious wound to her on a 15, and she will take some negatives as she has been struck with that. So, at which point is that all of your turn?
I clicked once, I slapped once. Can I slap her again?
Do you have like two-fisted or anything like that? Like anything that's like ambidextrous or?
I do have ambidextrous.
Okay. I'll tell you what. I'll give you it. I'll give you it for this one,
both
given
my
it's just the
hands.
two of you, and this is a nasty situation. I'll give you it.
Okay, cool.
With your -1 to your damage.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't hit. But I'm equally good with both of my hands.
So you like whoosh, go for the pistol whip, you hit, she's like and then you go
I
for a
try to-
slap and you just and miss completely, like just
She
in
stepped
front of
back
the face.
when I hit her, and I wasn't expecting it. I expected her to just stand there and take it like a woman.
So yeah, she doesn't stand there and take it like a woman, and so in your own words, and so she stands there, and the hand whiffs past the face, and like everything is a-okay, and you're in front of this lady, and she looks at you with hate in her eyes. She's like, "I will tear you apart," and at which point we go back round to Alucard.
Yeah.
Help!
Help you.
So the situation at the minute is you've got Mr. Reach, who's just kind of flung Robbie into a wall harmlessly, and stepped in between the two of you. You've got all these children still sat just like looking up, and you've got Lilith, who is now like attacking her with a gun and slaps neither Dias.
Nice.
And of course yourself, who's winded from God knows what.
Yeah. I like, spit out a gat of blood. Just kind of like look up towards this silvery blood person. And I'm gonna just like raise my gun and shoot. Is he like close enough, like point blank? Or...
Oh yeah, he's point blank, so I'll give you +2 to it. Because like again, he's massive as well, like he's hard to miss.
So it was a minus what again? Sorry.
-2 to skill checks, +2 so it neutralizes it.
Okay, cool. So the standard. Okay, so yes, I'm gonna spend one of my actions to do a get a +5, and I realized when I added the +5, I wasn't actually adding my shoot along with that as well. So
Okay, no problem.
so it goes back to a 7. Shoot.
What does he score?
14.
So you do shoot, and it does hit him. Does hit him. So do you want to give me the damage, please?
Okay. Well, you said that like it was sad, and it does hit him. Sadly, this innocent man.
Damn it, the time continuum's going to stay the same. I was hoping for the reboot. I mean...
Oh, okay. You also said unfortunately when he missed Robert Carr, and I was like,
What's happening? Is he trying to kill us? That's what it is.
It's what it is. Trying to ruin the time continuum.
12 damage.
How dare.
Okay, so you like point blank place a gun against him, and it goes off, and you go... And he stands there still. And he just looks at you. And he shakes his head. And at which point, anything else, Alucard?
Yeah, I'm gonna take my action to
To grunt at him.
yeah, to douche. I'm gonna douche. Take the action, douche.
Okay. So you're gonna douche. So you're holding an action to dodge if you need to.
Yes.
Well, parry if you need to, because it's a... So the difference between the two, because we've never had this come up much before, a parry is close combat, a dodge is range combat. So if you hold an action, you can dodge or parry. It's up to you. You just need to not use all your actions. And as long as you've got one, you can call it when it happens. So...
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So...
Do that.
So... you get ready. You're like, oh fuck, and you're ready to go. And at about that time, it is Robbie's turn, as he will run up, and you see him pick up one of the sort of little chairs of one of the pews, and he tears it off. And then with his other action, he's going to go and try and shove it into the guy's back of his neck. And he will give that a good old go with his improvised weapons. And he hits. And he deals...
Cool, Robbie.
Only 13 damage, unfortunately. As, again, like, Robbie gets behind this bloke, and he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna get you. And he goes to shank him with this chair leg, and he hits him, and it sticks in. And he just stands there, taking it. And just looks over and just kind of puts a hand on it. Just like, what? Robbie's like, what the fuck is this guy? And about that time, it will be their turn. As Mr. Reach looks at you, Alucard, brings up his meaty fist and just goes for a punch straight to the side of your jaw. So he's going to try and hit you. So that will be 11 plus your coordination. What's that number, please?
11. It's 11 plus my coordination, which is plus 3, so that's 14.
14. Okay, so he does hit, unfortunately, on a 17, as he then kind of brings his fist down and crashes into the side of your jaw, and will deal.
That parry or anything?
Yeah. However, he only deals 11 damage, so overall, he's not doing too well against you, as he strikes you in the jaw, and you think if you were a normal person, you'd probably be missing a jaw right now, but you aren't a normal person. You're Alucard, you're a Dampier, and as you take it, you roll with the blow, and it just knocks you to the side instead. And with his second action, he goes for a punch to your gut. And we'll try that again. So that's his auto hit. So the second time, however, he does not hit. And as he punches you with such force, it's almost like your instinct kicking. And he comes forward with a punch to your gut, and you step to the side, and it misses you by bare centimeters, as you just feel the air whoosh around his fist. At which point it will be the lady's turn, as Miss Graves looks at you, Lilith, and simply goes, break. And as she says that, she will try and attack you with one of her abilities.
Okay, that's great.
So, I believe a 16 would physically hit you.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. And
I only have 2 armor.
So so the good thing about armor is we're going to reduce 2 from this that we're rolling.
That's right. Yeah, that's great.
So luckily, you were hit in the chest by something that feels akin to a sledgehammer, like a force just immediately collides with you, and you're sent skittering back, and there's dust kicking up everywhere around you as if something had just hit you with force. But it doesn't hurt you, you're just a bit winded. It's only a flesh wound as you're sent out of breath, but there's no negatives. So, at which point, we go to you, Lilith.
Yeah. Cool. I'm gonna... Can I, like... Lilith's tired of this. She'll fight dirty. She'll fight how she's had to fight a couple times before. Can I, like, grab her hair and just kick her legs and just, like, try to, like, get her on the ground? Yeah. So kick her in the legs.
Let me unarmed checks then, please.
Right behind the knee.
I'll tell you what, if you make me an unarmed check for the first one to grab her hair and slam her down, and then if you do that, I'll give you a bonus to your damage of your second attack.
Ooh, cool. 6.
That's not a hit, unfortunately. As you go to grab her hair and she twists out of the way.
Haircut. Super hairstyle. Alright, and then I'm just gonna try to kick her, I guess.
Yep.
Kick her down. Kick her right behind the knee.
On an 11, unfortunately, you kind of go, ha, reach for her hair, and she just steps out of the way. And you go for the trip, and she just steps out of the way again. She goes, I've taken tap dancing lessons, you ain't gonna get me so easy to fall, she says.
Oh, can I backhand her with my
Yeah, you can try and backhand her. It's like,
I'm gonna be like...
God damn it, backhand.
And like kind of lean into it and just kind of like try to backhand on the way up.
Full force backhand, yeah, go on then.
You're just like, I took jazz step, bitch.
Backhand.
That is a good hit. So you do manage to. She's kind of like, oh, I took tap dancing. You can't trip. The backhand collides with her jaw.
I'm like, don't you talk about tap dancing to me.
Okay, could you give me the damage, please? So it is your vitality.
I took back alley ballet. Yeah, vitality, cool. Holy shit! Critical bitch slap. I've had to.
Jesus Christ.
I don't bring out the backhand very often.
All right.
bitches in
So
there playing.
the thing about rolling above a 21 is that it's an immediate kill. So Lilith.
Yes.
I never thought I'd have to say this.
I never thought you'd have to say this either. Let it
How
go this whole
do-
game without hurting
How
or
do
killing.
you how do you kill this lady
All
with a
right.
backhand slap of doom?
So I go to punch her, and I miss. Because Robbie's trying to teach me little fisticuffs to
Yeah.
protect myself, because he's worried about me sometimes.
Like, put your back in it.
Yeah, and then I go to kick, like just maybe like sweep the leg, and she's like, I took tap dancing. I'm just gonna be like, I don't care, bitch, and I'm just gonna backhand her, and then not realize just how mad I am that there's this freaky chapel stuff going on. I'm pretty sure she's in a cult. Like, I've got a lot of like memories kind of just flashing through, and I'm like, I don't like this. You're not gonna take me and do horrible things to me. And then I just look down at her and I'm like, damn. Look at my hand.
So
look
what
at
I'm
her.
gonna say is that like you backhand her, and like there's her book on the on the thing, right? And there's also like I'm gonna say there's like a pen,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
and you're like,
It's like the pen holders that's sticking up.
yes, it's sticking up, and it's like a proper ink and quill pen, so it's like, you know, a proper fountain pen facing up as well. And as you're like, I don't care, bitch, you slap her, and she goes, ah, and her head swings to the side, and as she collides with it, the pen hits right in the soft spot and just
Oh.
straight through the side of her head, and you just see her eye fill with blood, and she just and just dies.
I kind of
All
look
the
at my
children
hand,
start
look at
screaming
her,
in horror.
Look at Hatman. Look at her. And then I look over at Robin. Like, did you see that?
And there's Alucard and Robbie there just like beating into Mr. Reach. And it's about that time, however, that Mr. Reach turns and looks over at the dead lady. And he looks back at you. And you see him, he just walks to the side and just sits down in a pew. And Robbie's like, what do we do? He says to you, Alucard. And the children begin to run out, like they're not staying, they're like belting it out at this point. And these shadowy children begin to sort of congregate towards where the big man is.
So, given like what I've seen and like, but can I like do I get an idea of what he is?
Yeah, could you give me a biology check, please?
Forensics?
Nope.
I don't have biology. Don't have it. I don't have
Just
biology.
in which case, that's fine. So you look at him and you don't know what he is. Like, he is. You have no idea what this guy is. And you see all of these shadowy children begin to converge on him. And they all begin to sing a little, like, playground song.
Is it London Bridge is falling down?
Yeah, it's London Bridge is falling down. And they begin to sing it in a chorus and sort of gather around him. And you see their hands sort of grab him, and he doesn't resist. And you see him beginning to get pulled into the floor of the place. And he vanishes into the floor. And as he does, all the children just dissipate into nothing. And you hear in your ears a simple, thank you. And at that point, the entire place is just deathly silent. I thought you said they weren't bloody real.
I didn't think they were, but apparently I was wrong. I've been wrong before.
Oh, I have a lot of things to rethink in my life.
Well,
Mom, if you're here, I'm sorry, he says as he kind of looks around a bit panicked. Grandma, if you're here, I hope you're proud of me.
Mom, I'm sorry. Grandma, I hope you're proud.
Robbie
a
Carr seems to have some
backstory.
weird background
I
with
love
his
it.
family.
I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah. Lilith, are you alright?
She just hit me once, but I'm all right. Did you see? I backhanded her to death. Just one. I didn't.
I did see. It's quite deadly.
Remind me to keep that in mind the next time you get angry at me, says Robbie as he looks around.
I didn't know how much.
Oh,
how
God,
much
that's...
strength I had.
He says as he goes to have a look at what you've done. He's like, Well, I mean, I've seen some stuff on the street, but...
It's good. That's good. Yeah.
I think we just don't
Yeah.
speak about this in the future.
Oh, okay, that sounds good. Let's especially not the ghost part. Yes.
Yeah.
Not to speak.
But just watch out.
So, at that point you actually do smell smoke coming from upstairs.
Candles?
Oh, bloody hell, you did say those were a fire hazard.
I did. Can I glance at this book that she was reading out
Damn it, I
of?
was gonna do that as well.
Yeah, it's the Bible.
We can both look at it. Oh, do I recognize?
You look at the book and it looks like some ancient eldritch tome, full of words and strange drawings with their cultish symbol on the front of it of a cross.
I recognize this symbol, but I actually don't say anything about it at all because I don't want to embarrass myself because I know Robbie can read and I assume Alucard can read. And I'm like, we should burn everything here, including this book.
No, we should read it. You don't want to read the book?
No,
I think it's just the Bible. I think it's alright. But seriously, this place is on fire.
It is.
Yes, I don't like fire. Take the book and I'm gonna quickly pat her down.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna pat her down. You're just gonna.
You pat her down, and you don't find much. But what you do find is a single, what seems to be almost a tag on her, like one that is attached to her wrist, like a little band, and there's a little tag on it, and it says St. Augustus's Home for the Mentally Impaired, Ireland.
I pay no attention to that because I can't read it, and so I'm looking for like money or something.
Did you see this, Lilith?
Oh no, I must have missed that. I'm looking in his pockets.
You looked right at it.
My eyes passed through the light. Not so good at the darkness.
Mm.
And with that, I'm guessing you all
By the
bell
way, your
it.
gun wasn't loaded, and I hand it back to him.
I open it and like all the barrels are loaded apart from that one.
Yeah. Everything's loaded except for that one. Like your 6-shooter has like 5 bullets in it, and there's one that she's used, and it's not.
Talking about it.
I clicked it and nothing happened.
Did you point it and squeeze?
I pointed it and squeaked. I did, and I'll she's dead now, so that I'm just gonna, we can make noise.
Meanwhile, there's smoke just billowing in through the door above, and Robbie's like, but
Like, I did
seriously, like, I'm gonna get going.
Wow.
If you all want to die, that's fine, but I'm getting out of here. He says,
Alright,
and
let's
he
get
begins
out
to
of
run.
here.
Okay. And as you all belt it out and get outside the school, you dodge through the flames, and you make your way into the yard.
Question: how long was her hair?
Her hair, very long. It was like
I'm
down
just
to her,
gonna-
like, waist.
I know where Robbie's knife is, so I'm just gonna like keep it out, and I'm gonna tie it up real quick, chop it up, so I can make a wig from it.
Oh,
Keep
okay,
her.
okay. That makes sense.
Next session, you're gonna like pull it out.
Be redheaded.
Oh, that's gonna bring nasty memories.
I call it Augustus.
I call it and style Angela.
Sin eater.
Oh my god. Yeah, so you take some hair and you run out. And
Yeah.
you make it
Just
outside the
basically
building with
help.
quite a bit of ease. Yeah,
Shove it in the-
definitely. Because you know, like, the way out by now. You've been in there. It's a small building. You run the fuck out of
I
there.
know where the front door is.
Yeah, so you get out, and as you step out into the yard, you do see all the kids watching it burn. Like, they seemingly, like, still a bit panicked. And as you all step out, and Robbie's with you, and he's coughing and got his arm over his face at the time, and he's like, bloody hell. You see this massive church just... Sorry, this school on fire. And at that point, as you watch it burning, we'll call it there, because I think that's a good place for this mission to have ended.
And then we all went to a bar / brothel to drink and to
Yep.
forget about the ghosts.
To
and
forget about
everything.
everything to do with this event.
We went to an opium den.
You had the grand tour, and like by the morning you forgot this even happened.
Yeah.
It's only now that you've had this happen that in game you remember it.
Yeah. It's like I see a school and I shudder, then I'm like, oh wait, nope, we don't think about that.
When a child runs past you, like,
For some reason, I'm like, oh, I never liked children much, but then I just exasperated it.
God.
And for some reason, I'm always a little more nervous when I hold up the backhand.
He looks around for pens. Like.
Yeah.
Still, thank you very much for playing it. It's been a blast to run. I hope you've enjoyed your little crash session, your little schoolyard session.
It was fun.
Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. So we'll go around. So we'll start off with yourself again, pro restarter, and let us know who you are, where we can find you, and also what was your favorite moment of today?
Oh yeah. God, the favorite moment was just the face journeys of Lindy during like the scary like hallway scene was just great.
Yeah.
That was amazing. I loved it. So that was my favorite moment. But yeah, thank you for having me. I love playing this game. I love playing with both of you. My name is Pro Restarter. You can catch me on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram, all under the same name. I do a slew of stuff on the internet, so be sure to check out my Twitter for that. Also, as well, coming in the fall, I am producing and GMing a LGBTQ plus IA podcast called Dice in the Sires, a sex positive podcast. So be sure to check that out in the fall. It's got some great names attached to that as well. So yeah, thank you for having me.
Not a problem at all. Really happy to have you back as usual. Alucard's always amazing. And of course, Laugh Love Lindy.
Hey, it's me. Yeah, that was super duper fun. It was super spooky, and maybe explains partially why Lilith was really freaked out when she saw that ghost guy. It's like, you look different than the children ghosts that were freaky, but I have ghost issues. Super duper fun. Oh, favorite part. I don't know. I actually killed somebody. I never thought that would happen in this game. I'm so bad at combat.
Clearly not. You just have to use your backhand more.
The joys of like critical damage in this game is just like 21 plus, they're dead.
They're dead.
It's the same with you though, so.
Yeah, that's a little scary. Yeah, and also had some cult issues, little flashbacks. So that was super fun for Lilith there. She had a blast. But yeah, I liked killing somebody, and I also liked Alucard the investigator again, and like chalk line, and then my candle went out. I was like, that eventually realized that the chalk line fixed itself. I was like, that's great. I love that so much. Neither of us will ever have any idea in character, but we know it. It's funny. But yeah, you can find me online at Laugh Love Lindy on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. I play in and GM a lot of tabletop RPGs. Specifically things coming up that aren't just part of my regular schedule. Tomorrow on Tales from the Grimm's channel, we are doing Marvel superheroes for charity, so you should definitely come and check that out. And then on Friday and Saturday, Friday is going to be Aliens, continuation of our once-a-month game, and Teenagers from Outer Space next Saturday, so come check them out for spooky and silly.
No, that sounds amazing. And yeah, like I said, once again, thank you for being here. I mean, Lilith's always amazing.
I love a blast. She's so much fun. So many issues.
Speaking of Lilith as well, before we go today, there is something coming up on the Patreon, and also that will be released 2 weeks after that. Later this month, there will be a Chapter 0 for Lilith, and what that basically means is it's going to be a 2-parter, because we way overran, because Lilith went way above board with what her mission was. But yeah, so it's going to be a 2-part thing. It's going to be in podcast format. It's going to be more edited. There's going to be sound effects and music and all sorts of fancy bells and whistles. And yeah, so that will be on the Patreon at Hollowtail. You can find that if you're on the YouTube below in the description. You can also find that on Twitter as well. It's one of my pinned tweets. And yeah, check that out when it's out. And even if you're not a patron, a week or 2 after that, it will be completely open to everybody, so you'll be able to look at it then. So until next time, thank you very much, and we'll see you soon. And thank you for tuning in for this little extra one-shot. Bye-bye.